Hello there. My name is Flint Johnson, and I am writing this to tell you that eerie episode that I came across as an exclusive viewer at Nickelodeon. My job was to review episodes before they aired on TV. Well, last fall, I was asked to review a Blue's Clues episode. It was supposedly driven into the lore of Blue's Clues. I gladly accepted it and grabbed the footage of the episode. It was called Memory Time, and I thought it was an episode on learning about memory, but I should have known better. I went to my private viewing room and started on my PC. The intro seemed calmer than the other Blue's Clues episodes, but the rest seems relatively normal. Steve didn't open the door, the kids did, and the kids called Steve and he ran into the front of the camera focus. "Oh, hi, I forgot you were coming." An awkward silence happened for a few minutes, and then Blue broke the silence as she jumped on Steve. "Oh, Blue." Then the kids asked what they should do, and Steve stood up, started sitting on his thinking chair, and thought. At this point, Steve seemed unhappy, probably because of his memory issues. I strangely don't remember. I started to get concerned. Steve normally doesn't lack his memory like this. After thinking about the direction of the episode, I replayed it. The kids then shouted, "Should we play Blue's Clues?" Blue mentioned no with his head. Then Steve stood up from the chair and said, "No worries, I know what we should do. Make dinner." Steve then went and left happily, and the camera followed him as he arrived at the kitchen. He took a knife and placed an onion on the table. Then Steve exclaimed, "Now remember to do slow and steady with knives, kids." But he didn't seem to have listened to his own words as he cut the onion as fast as he could, and he ended up cutting his index finger. He screamed and cried as the screen faded out. I was rather disappointed about the episode as it wasn't like the others, but my curiosity got the best of me and I continued viewing it. The next scenes were in the bathroom. Steve stood in front of the bathtub motionlessly, staring deeply into the camera. "Where am I? Who am I?" Steve's eyes widened. The camera exited out of the bathroom and closed the door. Then the introduction replayed again, but the windows of Steve's house were locked and it was raining. Only the sound of rain was playing as the kids knocked on Steve's house. He slowly opened the door and he seemed sad and cold and desperate. "Why are you here? It's over." The kids replied with, "Can we help you, Steve?" But Steve sat on the ground and lowered his head. "My memory has been like this from the beginning. That's why I kept asking you for help." He was sobbing as he talked. "My parents undereducated me." He then ran into the garden and looked at pictures of his parents. "I was lied to, undereducated, and alone." Every character was behind Steve, worried. Steve looked behind him in anger. "You were all created by me. You're make-believe." I started feeling sad for Steve at this point. For a kids show, that was a bit too much. Every character also started crying and they vanished one by one. Steve was now alone. His house also changed into this abandoned house without electricity, and it seemed to be broken. Steve threw a picture of his parents on the floor and walked back to his house. The camera followed. "Steve, stop following me and filming my every move." The kids were also mad about Steve's actions, but they didn't respond. "I lost everyone and everything. I regret remembering my past. I'm cursed to be in pain, to be forgetful. I will never be the same again." Steve looked over the camera as he started talking to himself. "Leave me alone. My life is the only thing I have left. I can't take this anymore." Steve then threw a brick on his head and ended up unconscious on the ground. His last words sounded like this: "What is life? Who am I? Where am I?" His eyes opened. They had veins and they seemed lifeless. The credits rolled without the characters. There was just one last text that displayed the credits. It stated, "Don't let your memory fade away, or it might break your heart." I was disgusted and shocked at what I just witnessed. I, of course, refused this episode to be aired. The director of Blue's Clues kept the episode. They left it forgotten in the box somewhere. Till this day, I've never found out who created this episode, but Steve Burns told me this. I'm afraid I cannot specify who created the episode, but it was a group that seemed to lack their memories too, and so they wrote the script and bought it to the studio to make it come true. I, of course, refused to act in it, but they found a way to manipulate me into doing it. This is also one of the reasons why I left Blue's Clues.
What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video, and I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Miss Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, stay pretty.